Yeah, what's up, Dallas Cowboy Nation? It's your boy G from Jersey with the Quest for Six podcast. Happy Tuesday, folks. Relatively quiet Tuesday on the Dallas Cowboys front, right? But today we are going to talk about the defensive side of the football and an interview that Jerry Jones gave today on 105.3 The Fan. He didn't necessarily give defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus any promising news as to whether or not he was going to be back as defensive coordinator in the 2026 season. The defense has struggled mightily this year. That is known. And we saw on Sunday in the first quarter, Coach Schottenheimer having to call a timeout when the defense was out on the field because the personnel wasn't right. And, Coach Schottenheimer was picked up, mumbling certain things, possibly saying, "What the heck are we doing on defense?" And I think that the loss this past weekend to the Vikings, I think that that was the tipping point for the Jones staff in their support for defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus. We all know by now, it has been well documented, that Jerry Jones hired Coach Eberflus personally to be the coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys this year. He wasn't necessarily Coach Schottenheimer's choice, and that became a big debate right away. Why would you hire a head coach and not let him pick his own staff? All right. So there may be differences in opinions as to how to run a defense. What we saw this year so far on defense is a defense that was very confused from the jump. All right. Many blown coverages. We haven't had the sack productivity from the defensive linemen. Many defensive personnel have been out of position on a bunch of plays, including the linebackers, leading for a frustrating year on defense for the Dallas Cowboys. And right now, we're going to get into certain candidates that we think can possibly come in and help the Dallas Cowboys defense right away next year. For me, Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz definitely needs to be considered as a candidate to be the next Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator. We know Coach Schwartz for his time with the Eagles, and now he has been with the Cleveland Browns for the last couple of years. Jim Schwartz knows how to run a defense. Didn't have success as a head coach, but as a defensive coordinator, he is somebody that knows how to run a defensive plan, and he has his players in position to succeed. Sorry. Number two, we just saw him this past Sunday night. Brian Flores. Brian Flores' name has been hot over the last 48 hours. I mentioned last week in the podcast that Coach Flores likes to blitz, and he likes to blitz a lot. And we saw that against the Dallas Cowboys. He was sending pressure at Dak Prescott from every possible angle and gap that he possibly could. Brian Flores is a name that, if he becomes available, is somebody that Jerry Jones should interview this offseason. The next name, in-house, Aaron Whitecotton. Aaron Whitecotton has done a great job with the defensive linemen this year. We see how fiery he is when you watch episodes of Sounds from the Sideline, right? And he is somebody that the defensive linemen respect. When Coach Whitecotton speaks, the players listen. He is somebody who has a great rapport with somebody like a Quinnen Williams, right? He's going to be there, okay? And you've seen the work that he has done with Solomon Thomas. So keep in mind Coach Aaron Whitecotton. Somebody who I think has had a lot of success in the NFL, has been coaching in the college level the last couple of years, Coach Wink Martindale. We know Coach Wink from his time with the Baltimore Ravens. Great defenses out there with the Baltimore Ravens. Then he went with the Giants, okay? Had a situation with Coach Brian Daboll. They did not see eye to eye. He decided to go coach at the collegiate level with the University of Michigan. But if Dallas is going to run a 3-4 defense, in the future, Coach Wink Martindale is somebody to keep an eye on. Keeping that same momentum, that same energy, 3-4 defense, Rex Ryan. Coach Rex Ryan was the head coach that gave Coach Schottenheimer his first opportunity to become a offensive coordinator at the NFL level. Rex Ryan ran a very successful 3-4 defense as a head coach and as a defensive coordinator. Why not? Rex Ryan seems to fit the bill of somebody that is going to grab the player's attention. He knows how to run a defense, did a very good job as a defensive coordinator. Keep an eye on Coach Rex Ryan. Hey, Al Harris. Al Harris has earned the opportunity to be an NFL defensive coordinator. We see the success. We saw it firsthand, the success that he's had with secondaries. Look at what he's turned the Chicago Bears secondary into in one season. We already know the success that we had as far as turnovers and players understanding their assignment when Al Harris was the secondary cornerback coach with the Dallas Cowboys. Is he somebody that Jerry Jones may contact to run a defense? We know that Al Harris, the players love Al Harris, and they'll run through a wall for Al Harris, okay? And last but not least, somebody that I'm looking through current coaching staffs and saying, hey, who is somebody that Jerry Jones may be able to pluck? Brandon Staley, folks. Brandon Staley is the current defensive coordinator with the New Orleans Saints, okay? Brandon Staley was not successful as a head coach with the Chargers, but his defenses with the Rams and his defenses with the Saints this year, they play extremely fast football. Coach Staley knows how to run a defense, right? A lot of people are going to say that his defenses, with the Rams were because he had Aaron Donald. He had the number one overall defense when he was with the Rams, folks. Brandon Staley is somebody that I would consider to be the defensive coordinator. But something to consider going forward. You now have Quentin Williams. You have Osa Digizua, and they have to figure out what to do with Kenny Clark. If Dallas is going to keep those three defensive tackles, keep in mind, in order to keep those three defensive tackles and maximize what you have on your roster, you have to consider running a 3-4 defense in the future. I'll get back to you guys later on this week, folks. Go Cowboys.